Second, we're going to pause this while I go through everything and kind of explain. I lost my 6th point in pin shot. Alright, so this build is pin shot at the core. You're just basically buffing up your pin shot and using the Shadow Imbue to explode everything. I have been using puncture because it slows, and then you can take the fundamental. So if you hit more than 2 blades on one enemy, it phones it. And this kind of helps get that initial burst for yourself. So I use those 3 points, and then I go to pin shot and max it out. You take enhanced, and then I have been taking the increased crit chance, because if you take the splitting, you're almost guaranteed to hit 3 enemies. So getting guaranteed crits is better than knocking down elites for a second. Then here, I take a point and dash. I have a point right now from an item piece, but you'll need 1 to get the passive. Right here, if you damage something with dash, they take 20% increased critical strike damage. So since we're guaranteeing crits, we want to increase our crit damage as much as possible. We can reduce its charge. I haven't really, since we're so limited on points right now, being only 25, I'm not putting any extra stuff. Caltrops, I put a point in Caltrops. You can take enhanced, you do 3% more damage. And then you have 5% crit chance against enemies inside your Caltrops. And you double that for vulnerable. And since we are making things vulnerable base with our puncture and our Shadow Imbue, it's really good. I haven't been taking concealment because I have a point in Shadow Step from gear right now. Shadow Step is really good for breaking snares and stuns. It makes you unstoppable. Concealment will do the same thing. So I'd say whichever one feels better to use for you would be the one to take. For this, I'm going to be taking concealment. You can gain 40 energy. So since we're trying to max our energy every time we pin shot, with the unique, we get increased damage the higher our energy is. And then skills that break concealment, we don't really need a guaranteed because we're getting guaranteed from shooting 3 enemies. So we'll take the vuln. So if we come out, we concealment, and then we like caltrops, everything that gets hit by our caltrops will be vulnerable. Now we'll come down to shadow imbuement, take the enhanced, and then we will take shadow imbuement's primary explosion, makes enemies vulnerable. So things that it will explode will vuln the whole stack. So say we miss our caltrops from concealment, or it's on cooldown, we have a second vuln we can spread. Now we have 5 points left. I am just going to increase the damage with my Shadow Imbue and take our last 3 points and put them in our Weapon Mastery, just so we have increased damage to vulnerable enemies, because we're using a bow. You'll either use a bow or a crossbow. Crit strike damage is good, as well as vulnerable damage. But that's it for the passives. You're basically just trying to generate and pin shot as often as possible. Alright guys, what's going on? I'm going to take over post-edit here real quick, just so I can get a better explanation of what I'm trying to do with this, with legendaries. Since there's so many in the game right now, we don't really know exactly what we're going to be doing, but with what I've found so far, I'll go ahead and bring up a picture here of like the set that I want to be using. We can use up to 11 passives from uniques, so we want to take advantage of all the ones that we can. There are 3 core, I would say, for this that you need for sure. You're going to want trick shot aspect. That's the whenever penetrating shot damages an enemy. You get the 2 arrows split. Since we are using Shadow Imbue with our pin shot, the splitting pieces will also be imbued with Shadow and can trigger explosions. We want the Edge Masters aspect. Your skills will deal up to X amount of increased damage based on your available primary resource. The blue numbers you see in these can be RNG, so that number can go up or down. I don't know if it rolls different or if it's different based on what piece of armor you get. I know two-handers will do like 100%, amulets and rings will do 50. So this is something I kind of got to play around with, but for now, I'm just kind of treating it as we want edge masters on our crossbows or our bows because that'll give us the most benefit from our increased damage. The third thing that you're going to want for sure is the aspect of the expectant. This one is pretty good. Attacking with your basic skill increases the core skill damage. So since we are using our basic skill to build combo points anyways, we want this to just get a little bit more damage on top of our pin shot. The other uniques that are good, but I don't think you need to really have the build work are the rapid aspect. Your basic skills attacking faster is just good all around. Aspect of inner calm will be just another boost since we have to stand still to attack with our basic anyways. We can get some bonus damage off of standing still for our pin shot. The aspect of might, our basic skills grant 25% damage reduction for 4 seconds. This is just kind of going to be a key defensive for every build, I think, just for extra DR. The Ravenous aspect, killing a vulnerable enemy grants you 50% energy regen. Our Shadow Imbue makes everything that we hit vulnerable, so every time we kill something, we're going to be getting energy regen. Aspect of Retribution, this one is one that you could swap out for the other two items you see here on the right. The 15% chance to stun is all right, but the 30% increased damage to stunned enemies is the big kicker here. Trickster Scorpion you see is going to give you a huge benefit. You can just run in, caltrop, stun everything, and get 30% damage. The Opportunist aspect, whenever you break stealth with an attack, you drop stun grenades. This is another benefit with the aspect of Retribution. We can camouflage, come out, and then whatever we use is going to drop a stun for us. So if you don't have the Trickster Scorpion, you can just use this for kind of a pseudo Trickster. And lastly, the Boneweave armor that we have here has the unique where whenever we dash, we'll drop a smoke grenade, so it gives us a free daze. This is something that's like if you don't have one of these core 11, this will be like the 11th you can use. But yeah, all in all, just the 3 base ones, I think will get your build going and kind of get you farming to where you can hunt for all this stuff. So far, it looks like uniques drop pretty often, so I don't think anybody's going to have any trouble getting these. But the ones to look out for are definitely Trickshot, Edgemaster, and Aspect of the Expectant. So yeah, guys, thanks for checking out the build. Since the game's so new, I'm sure there's going to be mistakes or ways we can squeeze more damage into it, but I'm kind of just putting it out there, sharing what's been fun for me to play and what feels good to play. This is probably one of my favorite combinations of things to use right now, so I just kind of wanted to share it with everybody and get it out there for people to see and test on their own. The only way to get it better is to share what you got and have people iterate on it, so constructive criticism is always welcome. If I made any glaring mistakes, be sure to let me know. I'll get it corrected, and this hopefully ends up being a really fun build at the end game. Other than that, hope everybody has a good night, and I will catch you on the next one.